maybe you should start off.
All right. So a lot of people ask us still if we're working, if we still detail. Yes.
Heck yes.
This we say it all angry on yes. Yes, we still detail. The past 2 days, we've done, well, probably the past 3 days, we've probably done about 15 cars.
Yeah. Heck yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say it all angry.
Yeah. And it's a few days away from Christmas and we're still getting booked. Like we're getting booked like it's nonstop. So we had maybe 1 week, like 5 days where we were off, but we've learned
6 days because of the weather, the rain. Yeah. Which is what we're talking about.
As soon as that rain stopped, even if it was for a day or two, it's just nonstop. And none of these jobs have come to us. They're all mobile. So today we were working in the rain in the morning. Like the client did not care. We were working in the rain, holding it down. And luckily we got a break in the rain. And then we took care of 2 more cars. And now we are back here filming. So we're busy. We don't really stop working year round. There's consistent work throughout the year. We actually try to work the most historically. What is it? October, November? Isn't that usually when we bring in the most revenue?
April, May.
Yeah, April, May. I knew it was something like it was the transition month into other kind of when there's a little shift in the weather is when I like to really just go hard, especially if we're doing a lot of mobile work. It's the most comfortable time to work.
April, May.
Whenever there's like a break between the weather, like the shifting in the weather, whether it's fall or spring, where it's not like crazy summer hot, crazy winter cold, when there's those breaks in the middle, like October, in like April, May, it's kind of still cool.
Well, you can wear a sweater and a tank top.
Yeah.
Whichever one.
Yeah. So for us, that's when we like to capitalize. Summertime, we don't like working at all in the summertime. So you think our restrictions are crazy on the norm? In the summertime, they're even more restricted. So but we're talking about the winter. So today, with Christmas approaching, we are going to give you guys some gifts, a gift of game. So we're going to give them some winter detailing must-haves.
All right. So what do we do in the winter when it's rainy? Because obviously the scheduling is a big part in if you're working or not. If you're mobile, hell, even if you got a shop, I would assume.
Yeah. The weather affects pretty much everybody.
And obviously the weather affects depending what type of winter you have, either rainy, snow. I mean, I don't know what those cats do in the snow.
Some people shut it down.
Yeah. That would be the route. I think that would be the way to go.
Scheduling could be tough, man. Because if there's like a reschedule, like somebody needs a reschedule.
Okay. Today is Monday. Mm-hmm. You kind of find out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is rain.
Okay.
And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you have appointments that you gotta meet.
And these are mobile jobs?
Mobile jobs.
Okay. And first off, you have to see whether the client still wants a job done. Like for instance, today, the client we had this morning, I already knew, and I told Sal yesterday, I said, we're gonna work tomorrow. It's a mobile job. It's good. It's going to rain. It's going to be raining. It's going to be light rain. Like it was very light. It was sprinkling. I said, but the client, that doesn't matter. They want it done. This client, I've worked in the rain before. I've done exterior detailing and finished up in the rain. And she's totally fine with it. It's not a issue for her. She's more concerned with the interior getting clean. So we still take the same amount of care on the exterior, and she knows the rain's going to come down, but she's a sophisticated client in the sense that she understands what we're doing to the vehicle. So when it does rain, it's not going to be a problem. That's why she has us coming out there to do it. She knows the vehicle is protected. We service her cars probably about 10 times a year, probably. All of her vehicles. We probably see her about 10 to 12 times, I'm assuming.
No.
In that? No?
I say once every quarter. So maybe like 6 to 8 at the most.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking cars. I'm thinking cars. I'm thinking vehicles. I'm thinking vehicles. Okay. So it's probably like 10 to 12 vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Because we're usually doing multiple, and we do their work vehicles as well. We see them consistently throughout the year.
20 cars.
20 cars. I was way off. So 20 cars. We do about 20 cars for this client. And this is not a maintenance client. This is just a client paying full price for, she's grandfathered into the prices that we had a few years ago, but she brings us 20 appointments a year or 20 cars a year. So I would say this is a pretty damn good client.
Just with exceptions can be made.
Exactly. I'll work in the rain to satisfy this client. So this client, and as we're there, she scheduled 2 more vehicles for next week. So for this client, she doesn't care if it's raining. So that's number one. See if your client will still wants the job done in the rain. If it's interior, sometimes they're like, yeah, I just really want this done. I've been waiting. Maybe they're doing it to go on a trip.
Okay, you said to make sure the client still wants it. What's that conversation look like? It's raining on Thursday, and
communication needs to be on point. This is why we stress communication all the time. And people think communication is just replying to the client or hello, introduction, goodbye, that stuff. Communication is deeper than that. You need to have a deep level of communication in order to really have a true relationship with your client. When you follow up with your client from the time they schedule all the way till the end result, you should make sure that they're in the loop with all information, all changes, everything going forward. There should never be any assumptions that has to be made on their end. This is all my opinion. If somebody's paying me the reason they pay what they pay for us is because they don't have to do the work. They don't have to go to an app and reschedule. They don't have to do any of that. They don't have to do They don't have to do anything on their part. I will reach out to them beforehand, before it even gets to the point. You know, when it's like saying, hey man, I got to get my dryer fixed. And then your person who maintenances your appliances calls you a month before. Hey man, hey Sal, it looks like you're about due for maintenance on your dryer. You know, and in your mind, you're like, oh man, your washer and dryer, you're like, oh, hey, they've been acting kind of crazy, but man, yes, please. Boom, done. Imagine the service being like that. That's what we're doing for the client. They schedule, we let them know any updates, any changes that's going on. If there's any openings that are open up prior to their appointment, we're going to let them know as well. Most of the clients that book with us know that we're going to be booked out for quite some time. So what they'll do is they'll say, well, put me on the first reserve if there's anything. And we let them know that if there's any cancellations, if they want to be the first alternate, we can put you in that slot. So we have an alternate slot also for people who are just like, okay, I'm booked out a month. But if you got anything opening sooner, like I'll figure out how to get it there, get the car to you or whatever, because I want it done. So there's things that we do to make it easier for the client. But if it's going to be raining, find out if the client still wants you to work in the rain. If they don't want, and you don't have to work in the rain. I'm just saying if it's sprinkling and it's something tolerable that you want to do, some people are like, I ain't going to do it. I don't necessarily want to do it. It's not something I want to do, but it's funny because 3 of our clients, or 3 of the vehicles we did today, all 3 of them, the clients did not care about if it rained or not.
Again, but how does that conversation look like though? Just a simple,
What do we say?
like,
like it is raining. We have to move it.
Yeah. Majority of the time it's going to be, just confirming appointment tomorrow.
Good to go.
Yeah. Good to go.
Yeah. What I do is if they don't reach out to me, sometimes if it's a new client, they'll reach out to me. They'll say, hey, Joel, looks like we have rain on the schedule. And I still have some clients that we've had for years, some of our maintenance clients in everything that on all types of work that we do. some of them will say, hey, the weather's not looking too good. I don't want to bring the car out, or the weather's not looking too good. I don't want you guys to have to deal with this. So sometimes they'll reach out and I'll let them know that I'm already monitoring. So the ones that reach out, I already let them know that I'm monitoring the ones that reach out with concern. We let them know that we're monitoring the weather because we know how it goes. How did the weather look earlier this week? It looked like we were going to be rained out, and now we had a break, and it's sunny and hot outside right now. I mean, we've been getting this strange weather, but we let the client know we're on top of it. If it looks like it's going to in the morning, we can always play it by ear and kind of go based off of what the weather permits. If not, we can reschedule you. But I usually reach out before them to let them know, hey, it looks like we have so-and-so. And if it's something I just really want to reschedule out for another time, I'll reschedule it out for another time.
Just period.
I'll let them know. Yeah, there ain't no asking. There's no asking. Hey, so-and-so, looks like we got rain. We're switching it out to this. We're going to put you on this date and at this time. And if you have any questions, let me know. Most of the time, here's the thing. When you do everything else really, really well, those things are not a problem to the clients.
Well, it's not.
It's not an inconvenience to them anymore.
Well, no, because the only thing that changes is the date, and you change the date to a similar date and time that they normally have anyway.
Yeah, like if it's a Thursday or something, especially on the maintenance ones, we keep those on the frequency. So if it misses a week, 2 weeks, a month, those are already rescheduled out a month in advance anyway. There's no asking. We don't ask clients what dates work for them either when they're scheduling with us to begin with. That's not a conversation that's had. Like what works best for you. That's not a question we ask because for our services, it has to be a time that we're available. So just eliminating that right there takes away so many headaches. I know there's going to be people that are watching that are saying, oh, every time, like, I don't want to have to reschedule with them because that's not good customer service. And it's not good customer service when you do a bunch of other shit that's bad. When you're on point with everything and then you're still being proactive to call them and let them know, hey, it's raining and you're going to reschedule them, more than likely you're going to get a thank you because that's what we get. They're going to say, thank you for staying on top of it. Thank you so much. Sometimes they don't even know. So now you're doing their a favor. Bottom line is our best interest is in their vehicle. I'm not going to get the job done as well if we have to go do a mobile job and work in the rain. Well, whether you want it or not.
And we're talking majority of the time for us, it's maintenance clients, but even they're all some type of return client.
Yeah.
So that communication is easier. The tone has already been set. So that's what we're talking now.
This isn't a
I guess for a new client. Let's talk about for a new client.
Oh, I've had times where
that may be tricky.
Was it last year or the year before where we had a client that literally every day it went like 4 months. Mm-hmm. And even on the fourth month, something had happened and I said, no. I said, I don't care what, like, I'm not going to do this to my man again. And he was from day one, he was excited, enthusiastic. He really wanted it done. He knew our work. He knew our reputation. He was a referred client. But something happened, and I want to say the first time he had to reschedule. The second time, there was, I think the car maybe had to go into the shop, and then he was like, "Oh, it's going to be back." Hopefully, he was like, "Hopefully, it's back the same day." And we were both trying, so that made it easier. It wasn't just like everything was on us. Times like that can be tough, but again, it's just communication, staying on top of it with them, and having a sense of humor. This is why it's important to choose the right clientele, because if you have difficult clientele that is, maybe impatient or that just doesn't value or understand the service that the conditions that you need to be provided in order to do the best job, then it's just a headache all around. I would rather not even have that client. So this is why it's very important to establish relationships every single time that you do have a new client, because now they get to know you, who you are, your business, how things operate. They know you're not going to cancel for some bullshit excuse. They know you've never showed up late. you're like the best employee. When the best employee calls out sick, it's different when the worst employee calls out sick.
Or when there's a different employee coming, the good employee coming late.
Yeah.
Hey, dog, just coming through the back. No, coming through the front.
Yeah, I won't tell nobody I saw you, so I didn't see you in here. So, yeah, it's a completely different ball game. So when people try to compare, oh, well, if I did that in my business, my clients wouldn't. Well, probably because you're not doing a lot of other shit right. And that would probably be like it for them. That pushes them over the edge. Like, I'm done with this dude. He's enough.
And also, too, you might run into, if you have to postpone something 3-4 times, that whole feeling of getting your car, that service might not sound good anymore. I mean, you know what? Forget it. I waited this long.
Yeah, I'm fine without it.
I'll call you back, brother. Mm-hmm. That happens.
Yeah. The scheduling can be tough. You gotta be on top of the scheduling. And if you're not on top of it, you're gonna lose money. Oftentimes, we don't realize how much control we can really have over the scheduling and the time. Even a break in the day can open up time to do something.
I got a question for you.
Like if you have a shop, there's no excuse if the client says, hey, we have so-and-so. Okay, well, can we get it here the night before? And you could pick it up as soon as the rain stops. Like there's always a solution, besides working in the elements. We don't want that if it can be avoided. So just check the weather, communicate with your client, and you shouldn't have any problems.
All right. So maximizing your schedule.
Yes, and communication.
Yeah. Knowing it's going to be wintertime, knowing the patterns of weather, the rainy, the snowy season, whatever. What do you recommend where it's going to be rainy, good chances of that time frame, right? Like a month out, you're booked a month out, 2 weeks out, whatever the case. Knowing that weather plays a role in scheduling and all this, do you recommend like booking normally? Or like, okay, normally I book 2 clients a day or 3 clients a day. I'm only booking 1 because
I got you.
Because in the wintertime, if you have to reschedule 3 clients, cool, you have to reschedule them, but that's 3 clients worth of money.
Yeah.
And that
I'm gonna hit them with some major game right now. I'm gonna hit them with some major game.
Go ahead, do your thing.
You leave a complete alternate day open.
Like a day that
you never schedule for, and it's simply for fill-in.
So like you treat that as a day off, like that's your floater. Okay. Damn. There you go.
So that way you filter everything, you drop everything into that day. Say throughout the week, you miss 3 cars or whatever. You drop them all in on that day.
But do you recommend to continue with your normal schedule as far as if you normally book 3, keep 3? I would have to say that I would have to.
Yes, because everybody's different depending on what you want your workload to be. If you feel like you can ease up off of it, but most people this time of year, I would say from what I know, most shops and most mobile guys are not working too much during this time of year. There's a lot of guys that still are, but the majority of them are not this. So they'll take on as many jobs in whenever they can.
They don't care.
No, they just don't know. Yeah, because even when I first started during the wintertime, if I got jobs, I was doing them. I did not care. Like I was getting that money because you don't know when it's going to rain again. You don't know when you're going to have a drought. You kind
of counted on that money. The first, that's 300. The second, that's 900. The third, you already got a mental how much money you're making.
And that's a part too where you realize, and that's another part of the business that when you start up, most people are not thinking, okay, I need to think that this can possibly be an issue in the winter. Obviously, if you live in Minnesota, you probably know that already. By common sense, you would know that. If you
don't you know?
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Minnesota. You should already know you're probably going to have, a decline in business for a certain amount of time during the snow. Maybe people just can't be on the roads, like period. That's gonna cause an issue. So there's gonna be times where you're not busy, and I think people are just gonna load up in the wintertime. Again, that's why you have to be real. You have to be able to maneuver. And this doesn't just call for wintertime. You need to be able to, because you have the same problem with scheduling in the summer when we know how people are just like, hey, I'm like, you're 2 months out now.
Hey, just like everything else, in the heat, things break and get worse, and in the cold, in the rain, things get worse. Mm-hmm. So expect the worst in those 2 times.
Yeah, because there's 2 extremes. It's like
everything is magnified.
Yes, yes. So whether it's busy or it's slow, you got to maintain.
All right, cool.
And manage a schedule.
So it's been probably a good winter season, rainy season for about a month now. And then these cars have been beat up. Like we're washing these things like 2 times. What's happening is like we're doing a lot less scrubbing. Yeah. However, the process still has to be done, but the labor went down because of the how the cars are protected, how the chemicals that we're using, and the order of operations when we have these type of cars.
Yeah, I've definitely felt it this year more than any other year.
It seems like these cars are more tore up.
They are more beat up, but our process is better, and the chemicals we're using for the exteriors is far superior. So the cleaning is there's a lot less labor involved and a lot less time involved.
Bro, in the wintertime, rinseless, waterless, I don't know how these cats are doing it.
Please.
They talk about, bro.
Please just shut up with that. Just shut up with that.
Because we're over here scrubbing.
You could do rinseless. Here's what you could do rinseless. When you got 2 days with the car, or even a full day with the car, and it's coming into your heated garage and you work in Minnesota. That's the time where you do the rinseless because you can't work outside.
My bad, man. I don't know why I ain't brought that up because I got a whole, what the hell is rinseless? Everyone's got 3, 4 different.
We're going to have a whole channel.
Rinseless or waterless.
We're going to have a whole video.
Yeah.
The hybrid. We're gonna do a whole video on this rinseless stuff. But anyway, the rinse. Try fucking using some rinseless on some of the things we saw this week.
Well, Carlos was talking about it. I forgot what.
That shit ain't happening.
When he goes, these beat up cars, I don't know why I try to fool myself. This rinseless stuff don't work on these beat up ones.
It works, but it's more work than using.
I know exactly what you mean, Carlos. I know what
I've done both, and trust me, I pick soap over rinseless every day of the week.
I just pick the pressure washer.
Seriously, we're getting too deep into it. But some people are like, "Oh, I use rinseless with the pressure washer."
Oh, there we go. See, my bad.
We'll get.
Again, the chemicals usage. You got to have some stuff on steroids. Man.
I'm biting my tongue talking about this rinseless. I don't want to talk about. We'll save it. But we're saying you got to have some chemicals.
Yeah, you gotta have the juice.
Yeah,
for these.
These ones are just
for these ones, man.
Yeah, these ones are crazy because even the pre-wash ain't doing shit to these.
No, yes,
the pre-wash is laughing at us.
Yeah,
and I'm like getting heavy with the dilution. I'm like, fuck it, Sal. Like they didn't do it last time, so let's get on here.
Throw some acid on that thing. Let's see if it gets you mad.
Yeah, this stuff is it's been wild this year. And I don't know, obviously the environment, it plays a big role. And I don't know if something happened in our climate change or if, but this fall, man, these cars just got dirty, like nasty dirty. Like these cars look like they all went on heavy road trips and then came back.
It looks like a different color on these white ones, these off-white ones, even the black ones. Like you just see a film.
Yeah.
Once you do that wipe.
Yeah, it goes from gray to white.
Man.
And we're washing mitts. We're using about 3-4 mitts every single car that we do.
Then we hit it with the MJs down on the bottom.
Yeah, with just the Kirk Franklins. Yeah. So we're going through a lot. It's quite a bit, but we're still, our wash times and stuff are still good. And we're not, a lot of it that we're doing now is, I would say the extended time is on the pre-wash and on the dwell times for the soaps. Because the wash, we have everything now down to a process where it's just the exact same as a normal wash. Mm-hmm. But the dilution ratios are changed up a bit and the dwell times are changed up a bit, which you can do because the weather's permitting. So we let this thing like really, really work. And it's the system we're using. We're using Coach Kemi's system, and it's no joke. This shit is serious. Like, you want to talk a lot less labor when you're washing a car that hasn't been washed in 2-3 months and it's filthy. For us to be able to do that and feel like it's a summertime wash, just a normal maintenance almost, it's nothing. That to me, like every time we finish a car, I'm like, man, that was easy, right? Is this me or was it easy? Because they all feel, because it's the same process. There's some where we have to do a little bit more, but for the most part, we're not.
It's a lot more bend over work.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you getting down. I feel like versus summer detailing or fall.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just talking. Yeah. I'm just talking in general for winter compared to winter. Just think of the 2 Teslas that we had to do in Brookside. How hard were those last year?
Oh yeah.
And how hard are they this year?
That's just a little more time. That's all.
But it's not like how it was before.
Right.
Like we were sitting there scrubbing stuff off of the surfaces. It was terrible. I don't forget those days because I used to hate going over there to do the exteriors. Now the exteriors, it's just dwell time.
I'd rather just do the exteriors.
Yeah,
on those ones. So you mentioned, we said tools and chemicals, but I guess I'm gonna throw the wash mitt in there as a tool.
Uh-huh.
So wintertime, more wash mitts on deck for sure.
Always.
Right?
Always.
More throwaway towels so that we could use.
We're on our second round of the Rip and Rags, which we'll link everything that we talked about in here. So Coach chemistry is what we're using on the exteriors of these vehicles. And it's doing amazing. And we're using Coach Chemi on the interior too. So lately it's been pretty much exclusively Coach Chemi. The interiors, I'm excited because Coach Chemi does have the new sealant that we'll be putting on our maintenance clients for the floor mats. So if you guys are seeing clients on a routine basis and they live on, they have a lot of trees in their neighborhood or they're just stepping on stuff and and you're having to scrub the mats every time, go get something as easy as Scotch Guard and put some protectant on it. Make your job easier. The weather techs are a lot easier too using the Green Star. We're not seeing as much trouble with those because those we used to have to scrub multiple times too. I'm not scrubbing multiple times anymore with those. And we had some pretty bad ones this morning and we restored those things looking nice. And those ones were already beat up. Those are a few years old. So I think chemical choice is definitely a big time saver and a big labor saver. So for all you cheapos, you're working a lot harder this time of year. So when you tell me you're working a lot harder and you're not getting as frequent work, that's 2 bad things.
Damn.
No wonder people say this detailing thing sucks. Yeah, it does suck if you're operating like that.
Damn.
Let's keep this shit real. That's what's happening. That's what's going on in people's business. And they're not identifying that. They're not like, well, oh yeah, summertime or wintertime sucks because I'm slow. These cars are, hit them with the triple. It's slow, right? It's your slow season. You're using cheap chemicals. You don't do the job fast enough. And the cars are just dirty, like nastier than ever. So you have hard work that you're doing to compensate for the crappy tools and the crappy supplies in chemistry you're using, and then you don't even have the job's hard, and you don't even have a frequency of ongoing clients coming through. So you're just that's a depressing recipe right there.
Let's not get on too much, man.
I don't want that.
Christmas.
Yeah,
it's Christmas time.
Merry
Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Maybe for you cheap.
Have a happy new year.
Yeah,
you filthy animal.
Home Alone.
I said it all backwards. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. He says, no, he doesn't say Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Because he says Happy New Year too.
And then he starts blasting.
With little gimpy Mo, Mo with the gimpy leg. He goes, I heard you sleeping around. You're sleeping around with my brother Johnny, even Mo with the gimpy leg. Then that's when he shoots her.
I don't remember that.
Because you know that all the old timey.
Yeah.
Old-timey.
I don't remember.
He goes, He goes, Larry, Johnny, even Mo with the gimpy leg.
I don't remember that. Man, I'm about to go watch that movie now.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, what we got? Chemicals
and tools. You need a good drying towel, brother. You need a good drying towel.
That's like that. That's a must.
You definitely
that's
need a good
must.
We know what drying towel we're talking about. Yeah. It'll be linked in the description below, but you need a good one. You can't be running around with these used ones doing this and
again. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Bad chemistry, bad products. Your job is already hard.
Dark Fury does the same things. What they gonna say, bro?
Yeah.
All right. If it works, man.
So get some better chemistry and get some better towels. Make your job easier.
Or if you're cheap, well, it doesn't matter. Your dilution rates are gonna have to be stronger.
It still doesn't matter. Well, but with the cheap stuff, you start fucking and then you start messing with it.
I was just trying to be nice.
Now there's damage. No, because now they're gonna make your job even harder. They're gonna fuck some shit up.
These cars that are jacked up ain't nothing getting that
ain't getting any worse.
That grime is so thick on there. I think we hit.
You guys have enough. You guys get enough. You get enough of that.
Around this time of year, we get the same calls because holiday season, school's on break, families visiting, traveling, all that. We get the clientele that hits us up around this time and summertime. Hey, put me on the schedule. I got 4 cars for you. My family's in.
Yeah.
Right. We get that yearly from returning clients that we service 1 or 2 times a year during this time period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's this is one of those patterns that I started to notice after about my second year. I started noticing people were getting on this frequency around the holidays where any family members were coming in. Maybe it was their kids coming home from school. Maybe it's, a parent that's visiting out of state, or somebody that's just went out of state and traveled and is coming back. A lot of people are traveling during the holidays. Like our client this morning, where they're going to Disneyland. So they wanted the cars clean. Okay, we're taking this down to Disneyland, so we want to make sure, which is about 4 hours from here, 4.5 hours, 5 hours?
5
hours?
5 hours.
So they're driving 5 hours.
No. My man said, come wash these cars because we're going to Disneyland tomorrow, and these are going in the garage. They're in the.
Oh, they're taking the.
When I get back, I want my car to be clean.
Yeah. So either way, the work that you do in the summertime brings that work in constantly, consistently. So you build clientele throughout your career, and this is why it's very important to your impression, the way you do business, the way you conduct yourself. Those people will stay with you, and those people will help you get through the rough times because of the frequency, and they know what you're capable of doing, and they know, hey, so-and-so is going to be here. Most of those people are like the heavy planners.
I think we all could agree the benefits of having those clients. Let's want to talk about how to get those clients, what you're talking about a little bit. But if you just realize oh, that's a good idea. How would you strategize? The first time hearing this, and telling someone this is what you got to do for the wintertime. Key things. Obviously, we talked about it, doing good work in the summertime previous to the winter.
Yeah.
But how would you focus on that? Saying like, I'm going into this with that in mind.
Yeah. You should, anything, again, this is why communication is so key. You should be building rapport with your clients. You should be talking to your clients, getting to know your clients. We know what clients of ours are teachers. What do teachers have off in the wintertime? They have a big break. So it's probably a good time for them to get their vehicles detailed.
And they're getting toe up.
Yeah.
Teachers be getting wild during time off.
So we have a frequency already there in their job. You have people that may be coaches. There's a big opportunity time there. Students come home, holidays. There's reasons to gift giving. There's a lot of things that are in that area there's a lot of things that occur during that time frame of winter where you can really capitalize on.
You did
fundraisers. There's a lot of fundraisers. There's a lot of benefits.
Man, you just talked about 7, 8 things. So
yeah.
That's how you strategize. Pick out those things and figure it out.
Yeah.
That's good enough right there. And that's a lot of info.
Yeah, when we consult with people, those are things that we target them with. And we even give you strategy on how to sell that service during that time. If you guys are looking for consulting, you guys know we're here. It's always linked in the description. So holler at us if there's something you need. So during the wintertime, there's really no excuse not to be making money. You could be making money a lot of different ways. What else we got for them?
One thing, no matter what, that doesn't get canceled is these fleet jobs. Rain or shine, 200 degrees or negative 200 degrees. We're going out there and we're doing those fleets, which is always, you can always count on that.
Yeah, that's one that holds us down consistently. And we only do one or two fleets. But when we do those fleets, they are consistent year round, unless the majority of the fleet is on a job site, which maybe happens once a year, I would say. You could guarantee at least 10 months out of the year of taking care of them. If your client's business is maybe landscapers and stuff, maybe they have a certain downtime where they're not as frequently working. I would think something like that, or maybe construction sites, things of that nature. But we're not the only industry that has a downtime. There's a lot of industries that have a downtime. Almost every industry in Q1 is a little bit slower. But there's always ways around all of those. It's what does McDonald's do during Lent? They sell more fish. They figure out a way they're not going to let that affect their business. So you shouldn't let certain things affect your business either. Some people, I always use COVID as an example because you had to see a lot of adversity and how people deal with it. And it was fun to me to see how people were doing it. Because they were like, oh, they found a loophole right there.
And making moves.
Yep. So to me, that was very exciting to see. And the people that were able to transition and pivot and kind of work their way through, they saw a lot of success. And the other ones that didn't know how to do that, they were just left in the dust. Like, it's game over for them. And a lot of businesses were that. You saw how fragile a lot of businesses were. One of the trainings after COVID, we had Rennie was talking about, a few different detailers that have reached out to him. And some of them were like, if I have to close my shop for a week, I'm done. I'm done. Like there's no recovering that. That's a shitty situation to be in. So you don't want to be in that situation. We try to teach risk management so you don't have to deal with that type of stuff in your business, because if you're operating like that, you're on shaky ground to begin with. You don't want to be that fragile as a business. You want to have a good sturdy foundation.
So fleet jobs.
Yeah, so fleet. If there's a fleet work that you can do, we treat fleets completely different than we do
got a whole
detail.
process.
It's not a detail. We're not detailing. We have different uniforms that we wear. We have different shoes you're dealing with a different type of, you're doing more of an industrial job than you are doing, detailing. We're not,
The
we're
service,
not
not just the price, man.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So go out there, pick up a fleet if you can. It's something, it doesn't have to be a big fleet. Our fleet right now that we do is a total of 8 vehicles. It's 8 vehicles, and then there are 3 personal vehicles on top of that.
Go watch our video on fleets. We tell you how to get into fleets because there's a lot of questions that you got to ask before that. The terms got to be right
Yes.
to begin with. All right. Another one that is fun. It's easy, but you can't do it wrong. That we're experimenting and trying out different things are gift certificates, gift cards.
Yes.
That's a way to. That's one way that you can stay afloat if you do it right. If your services are wanted, you could have some money coming in and not work, or work less.
No, it's a very overlooked, undervalued offering from other detailers. I don't think most people know how to capitalize on the gift card sales, and I don't think a lot of people know how to really market their gift cards. The guys that know how to sell are going to be okay. Those guys are going to be okay.
Don't even worry about that.
Yeah, if they've had any job in sales, in retail sales, and vehicle sales, like they're not going to have a problem. They're going to be pushing those things. They're probably selling those things year round, like it's nothing. So you need to figure out how to sell that gift card to whatever type of client and however you want to sell it. We played around a lot with our gift cards. Some of our prices as detailers could be high for an average gift. I'm not just giving out $500, $600, $700 gifts to people. So
yeah, when was the last time you gave out $500, $600?
So it's
gift?
like that's like wedding. For me, at least, like that. A graduation or something. Okay, but that's still a lot.
You dropping $500 to a graduation
For certain things. Because if we're trying to sell it for the price of a detail, it's a lot harder to sell something at a high price point than at a low price point, especially when they're gifting it to somebody. So we had to learn how to sell them in increments. And we're not going to go into much more detail than that.
We're going to have a whole nother video once we...
No, we're not. They're going to pay for it if you want this information, because this is a strategy in itself that is worth it, because this brings in money year round. So if you want that, you can call us. And a lot of guys that didn't sell them before are definitely selling a ton now. Go get that consulting if you want that one, because that's a killer right there. But that's all we'll say about gift cards. But if you're not offering them, offer them. You should have them ready to go, because that could bring income. Shoot. My wife just sold $1,000 worth of gift certificates this past week, in 1 week. Dang. So she doesn't have a down season, but if you have a down season and you're bringing in an extra $1,000,
you still that's nice. Down season.
Yeah. And ours, we brought in a couple this week too. It ain't $1,000, but it's good. It's something that's bringing any revenue in right now. And it's nice to be able to call up Sal and say, hey, yo, Sal, come pick up this money. He's like, okay, I'll go get that money.
I want to hear from the sales folks. What are your guys' strategies? Just in sales, period. Oh, you know what else about wintertime detailing or wintertime business?
What?
We get gifts too. It's the season of giving.
Oh, yeah.
I know those guys they know what we're talking about. You get the bottles. You know what I mean? You get the cash. You get gift cards back.
Serrano gives bottles to people.
We got to become Carlos's client.
Yeah. They're grateful for what we do. They appreciate us, and they want to give back and give to us during the holiday season, which is always appreciated. It's always appreciated. So that's all rapport. That's all rapport, and that's all trust. Somebody that you've only worked with a short amount of time and you're not doing things right, they're not going to be motivated to do something nice for you or to do something out of their way for you. Some people will, but most people are not going. But trust me, when you're doing your job well, people are more than happy. Our mailman, he's getting a gift this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a good dude. He knows us by name. He comes up to us. He says, "What's up?" all the time. He's interested in what we do. So there's certain people that are going to get gifts from us that we appreciate in our life, and just in you know, just supporters in general.
That wraps it up, man. That wraps it up for getting this money in the wintertime. For you guys out there in the snow, or how even a way for you hustlers always upselling, you guys better be upselling that rust inhibitor.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's another one too. Yeah.
Easy money.
If you just follow the simple things that we covered today, it should make your next winter a lot more tolerable. But only time will tell.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Here's a gift that doesn't cost any money. Share this with somebody.
Yeah. So